Welcome back to the LEGO City project. Today we're going to be working on Mills plating. Now, Mills plating is not the most interesting, but we are going to be focused on the layout of everything. We've also got to design what we're going to do for the raised platform for the Disney castle to sit on so that the train will be able to travel underneath, because it being such a big structure, it's going to get in the way unless we elevate it up, and it has to be done in some way or form. I've played around with trying to have an elevated train line, and I just think it's going to be a little bit too tough to be able to have running around the city. So we are going to have to manage these modular buildings, but I wanted to get this part situated first, get a rough idea of where we're at, and then we can start to put all the other modular buildings into the spot that we want here. But I figure if we get this front edge done first and get some Mills plates in, then it means that we can have a little bit of a grid structure going, which would be nice. Only problem is I've run out of straight parts, so they're in the mail at the moment. It's going to take a little bit to get here, but in the meantime, I might just grab a few from down here just so that we can start building. All right, so it's been a little bit of time since the last update of this, or the last time that I recorded. I got the extra pieces that I needed, put them all in, and now that I've put it all in, I really thought, you know what, I feel like we need to do this elevated train line, despite what I said in the previous clip. I just feel like the train being elevated above the road for the most part will be nice, like especially at the back part. It won't go as far back, so I won't have to use as many pieces, or maybe save like 4 straight tracks or something like that, 2 on each side. But I will be able to go in front of the Avengers Tower, Daily Bugle, etc. if they remain up the back. And it'll create a, it won't get in the way of most of the buildings, I think, because the build that I'm going to do for the elevation of the train line will be quite minimalistic, which will be good. We still have all of these plates, and I even started to frame together a bit of a open area so that we can put in the gardens and then have the botanical gardens at the back there. So I'm thinking something like that, but we're going to have to install a raised platform to be able to put the Disney castle on top. And what I'm thinking is that we'll have a raised platform, and then we'll have another raised platform on top of that that the Disney castle will sit on, and the train will actually travel underneath. So that's the end goal. How we're going to get there, I have no clue. However, we do have this area down here to focus on, and as you guys would have seen in the previous ones, we've been tiling this one off. I managed to get a lot of the pieces today, so we're going to go through and tile all this place off, and it'll look so much better, especially with the random blobs of color in there. I think it'll be good to detail it and then eventually put some minifigures in there as well. We do need to do the rock work behind the Trevi Fountain to make sure that this is all covered up. That will take time. I don't think we're going to do that today. I think we're just going to finish off with the tiling element. And I wanted to see what you guys think about the train line, because I feel like the elevation is the way to go. It's going to mean that Disney Castle is up pretty high, but I think it's going to look good, and it'll look nice as a, not a centerpiece in the city, but as a high point in the city. I think it'll sit taller than the Avengers Tower, which is pretty crazy. But eventually there'll be other things that are taller than the Avengers Tower, such as my skyscraper build, which I'll eventually get back to once the city is established, and then I can start focusing on little bits and pieces within the city itself. And yet again, I've run out of pieces. There's only so much that I can do, unfortunately, but this is looking a hell of a lot better. I'm missing the little grey clips to be able to go in between for some of the handcuff pieces, especially going along the front, which I think I'll go all the way to where I've put. And I'm starting to think in my head as to how we're going to plan out this train station. I did bring the train in front and just saw the height difference, and I went, yeah, I need to build that up a little bit. So we think we might build a little staircase, or have this front section flat, and then just when it gets up to the actual train station itself, like the platform, then we make that elevated up a little bit more. So like a little stairway and ramp leading up to it. I think that might be nice. Then we'll have a little crossover point. So, staircase that goes over the top, goes over to the other side, and then we can start building up that area as well. But that's going to be a whole big project by itself, and it'll look really cool once it's done, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of parts, and I don't even know where to start with that. The rock work is going to be a big element behind the Trevi Fountain, And I'm thinking now that I want to get a mixture between the light bluish grey and dark bluish grey at the back of it, because I think that that might look effective and would blend well into the existing Trevi fountain build. And the tile work is getting there. We've covered up a lot of the stuff. We need to put the benches in and then design the trees. But yeah, it's almost ready for some minifigures to go out, but I don't know where to go after that. Underneath the Eiffel Tower, I'm probably going to scrap most of this part and put in some mini tree builds or mini shrubs, maybe even based on these designs, but just to simplify it so it's not micro scale anymore and just minifigure scale, so I can actually place some minifigures underneath the tower. And I think that'll look nice. The city is in shambles, but I feel like we are getting there slowly but surely, and it'll just be a little bit at a time, because there's only so much that I can afford to purchase with the Lego bricks, so that we can have this, as well as, you know, the Lego in our backlog that we need to build. So I'm thinking I might get onto some of that over the next few days. But yeah, please let me know what your ideas are for the city. I would love to hear them. We're really focused on this front part here, because I feel like this will be easy to establish. But then once it's done, then I can start to focus on the upper part, so I can actually place the buildings where they're supposed to be, instead of being just a mess like they are at the moment. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, comment down below, and we'll catch you on the next one.